Hey, on that note, hey, how's it going? Welcome to the very first pilot FTF Flametongue Fable podcast.
That's the one.
Look, another voice.
I mean, you can see me.
Oh, well, if people are listening...
Look, full disclosure, this is, like we said, this is the pilot episode. We're still working out lighting, setup,
this is all...
cameras, mics, all that stuff. We have no idea.
We have none of that.
So you might be listening to an audio podcast and be like, what are they talking about? And we'll be like, yes, that didn't work. Or it did. Go job. Good job us.
This is a great start. I love this. So, if anyone's wondering what this is about, if you have no idea what Flametongue Fables is, it is the two of us. We talk about all things D&D. We do all things D&D. We do campaign hooks, and we do dice shots. So you do a lot of photography.
Yes.
And I've got minis galore. I've even got like a whole bunch of them over here, which if you're listening to a podcast, you can't see. Look, want some water?
It's a water elemental. Look, you can't see it on this audio podcast unless we got visual.
It's for premium users only.
But yeah, essentially that's kind of what Flametongue Fables is, and that's kind of what we want this podcast to be. Is just a place to talk D&D, because we like D&D and we wanted to have a chat about it.
Come chill, come hang out and talk some D&D as we. So speaking of we, who are we?
Who are we?
Who are you?
Who am I? Well, my name is Ben Cossey.
Hi, Ben.
Hi. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may have heard of me from such.
Stop it. Who are you?
I do a lot of Lego stuff. If you head over to Instagram, Flickr, Facebook, YouTube, all that sort of stuff, I'm Ben Cossey over there. I post a lot of Lego stuff, Lego D&D stuff as well, actually. Mainly, as my shirt shows, also some Star Wars stuff. Mainly Lego, all Lego.
We're not sponsored.
No.
Star Wars sponsor us.
No. Disney, please. So I kind of do a lot of that stuff over there. But I also hang out with my friend Nick and play D&D. And we also do, a few other different things like Minion Quest, and I'm sure we'll have other projects going around here and there, and films and short films and things we've done.
And we can talk about that. Well, speaking of short films and such, my name is Nicholas Allen. I was going to say my name is Nicholas Allen. I'm an actor, and I almost said my name is Nicholas Alcantara, and I'm a
nice.
I didn't.
Good. Great for the first episode, and be like, yes, my favorite was that Alcantara man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm an actor, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz. I've never been good for self-promoting. I remember learning to be an actor. One of the first things you're taught is they're you need to know how to sell yourself. You need to know how to schmooze and talk and use social media and all that. And I was like, can't be fucked. Someone else do this for me. I can't wait till I've got money and I can afford a personal assistant. I'm like, thank fuck. Can you just do? I'm not gonna edit this shit. That's
my job.
That's on you, man. I'm not touching it.
That's right.
So I do that, and then I do. I've done some DM for hire.
Yes.
Stuff with Flametongue Fables.
Yes.
I work for Constable Care. And as a bartender, I kind of do a bit of everything, a little bit of a chameleon.
Yeah.
I really, really like D&D, and I find you more than anyone. Just will be like, oh, how was your day? And then we have a 2-hour conversation about Dungeons and Dragons and all the stuff that you can sort of do with it and the places you go. And so figured why not just invite people into that?
Yeah, and we just, I don't know, we enjoy doing things together, making art together, and we've spoken a long time about doing stuff like this, of making some sort of content, filming things, doing things, making projects together. And so, we just kind of wanted to just have a space to not only talk, but to share our insights, to make art together, to just do stuff.
Like some stuff.
Yeah.
Do we have a cheat sheet? And what we're talking about? We do.
Don't worry.
Not that there. He's not. We're professionals.
The magic of behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. So what are we talking about?
So I mean, to some degree, we've already spoken about who we are.
Yes.
I'm sure more of that will come across as we watch more and more episodes and more and more things come. What is this Flametongue Fables podcast? I mean, we kind of briefly spoke about it, but yes, but I mean, to some degree, like we said, we want it to be just talking about D&D, just having a bit of fun, having a laugh, all of that sort of stuff. I think in future, the kind of format that we wanted to have was just like discussing, D&D news that's been coming out.
Yeah, D&D news, I know we spoke about, like, let's talk about barbarians, and then all things about, like, rage and emotion, like, off that, because we talk about those things.
Yeah.
Bards and how they work, and what would be a great idea for a bard, and just, music we like at the moment.
Because I think that's such a big thing about D&D is it's like, yes, it's fun to be a nerd and to min-max and to go into it all and learn the lore and da-da-da, but also at the end of the day, like, it's a good time to just make friends and, like, grow as a person as well. Like,
speak for yourself.
We were speaking as...
I'm an asshole.
Okay. We were speaking to other people about this the other day of how, D&D can help you grow as, like, in confidence. Like, you could be someone who's really shy, and through roleplay and stuff, you learn just how to be a bit more open, how to be a bit more, less shy, because I can't find the words right now.
I mean, we played with, our group has had 4 out of the 6 individuals, I believe 7 individuals, 4 of them have had acting experience.
Yes.
One of them is a social worker, and 2 of them have never had any performing experience and or played D&D before. And, they walk in the room and they're the ones, like, one of them's, screaming in a barbarian voice, telling people what to do, like in roleplay and stuff. And so it's, you can't say it doesn't do nothing.
Years of training wasted as these total amateurs show you up.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, not me. I'm awesome. You guys suck. I tell them, I'm the DM. I'm great.
Yeah, well.
I'm setting a really awesome, like, first, like, standard of the kind of person I am.
Like, full disclosure, not just saying this. Nick is a fantastic storyteller and a fantastic DM. We will talk about the current campaign that we've almost rounded off after 60 sessions.
Yeah, so, yesterday was meant to be the last session, but it was just...
Big fight.
It was a big old fight. That was close to 5 hours.
Was it really? Wow.
Yeah, close to 5 hours, and you guys were fighting the god of death, Anubis, at the end of that campaign.
Evil boss man.
The BBE Jmee, and Big Bad Evil Guy, for those uninformed or not able to decipher me saying Jmee instead of G. Yeah, and you died.
I did. My character. Don't worry, I'm fine.
I think they...
one and the same. Yeah.
Sure.
Which was the 3rd time my characters died. Like we said, 60 sessions. What was it? Like session 15, my first character died.
You did, and I'm not really the sort of DM that will kill off a character. I believe that it will have to serve narrative, or I'm not to say I fudge rolls or anything, but I'm not gonna kill you guys for the sake of killing you. I don't believe in it.
To be fair, when my first character, whose name was Sakar, he was a kobold who was he was a rogue, but he acted more like a barbarian.
I think it's also because you were...
It was also because it was one of my first characters.
You were completely new to the game. Yeah. And you just created this character, and you were like, I'm going to be a rogue. Yeah. And then, like, we'd roll initiative, and you would just charge into battle.
Yeah.
And because we started with me being the DM and the other player, and we were just, the both of us were just like, Ben, I don't like, one of 2 things has happened. 1, I don't think you understand, like, how rogues work. 2, I think you meant to pick barbarian. Like, something happened.
Yeah. I was just new and didn't fully.
So you just kept going unconscious, and you're like, why do I keep going unconscious? Like, it's because you've got rogue stats. And you're like charging at people.
It kind of fit the character because he was a very sort of like savage, like kind of fish out of water character, and he kind of had this whole lifelong quest to avenge his family, and it was a very sort of stereotypical sort of story. But not that I want to diminish it with that, because I think that's the case.
Not diminish, but I think it does very much fall into the realms of, like, very very meme worthy of, like,
I guess so.
Just My tragic backstory where someone killed my parents.
Which is literally that. But I mean, you know, and I think that's certainly something that like I'm a believer in, is that yes, you can have a more cliched story, or you can have
rehash all those stuff.
But it's how you tell it, you know.
Exactly.
And it was that was how the first character I played died. It was good water. Good job. That was, wow.
A big old cup.
Yeah. He was trying to find the guy who killed his family, and eventually they did, and they fought, and it all kind of like led to that moment, and it was this thing of like, well, can he do it, and will he be consumed if he murders him? Like, oh, what's going to go on? And then just the dice did not agree with me. There was like 5 turns in a row, just never hitting.
Yeah, he took down Leah, one of your party members, and 3 of your other party members had to run off to like stop the city being destroyed, and it was just you. The guy had like not to tell you how much hit points he had, but he had like 3 or 4 hit points, and I'm pretty sure you missed like 4 hits on him, and it was just this thing of like it was not meant to be. You know.
Yeah, and it was that like I wasn't sitting there like, wow, Nick's just awful. He just murders my characters. It was fine, you know. And then the other character that died, we fought a big kraken, and it just was, again, it was just the way the battle went. And
love me a kraken.
Yeah,
love me a kraken battle.
I
got a big
dinner choice.
D&D pirate ship, and you know, it's the one from Ghosts of Saltmarsh. If people are familiar with the packaging and all that, and but we were using that, and you were Alton the Mendon, you know, pirate captain,
dashing rogue tiefling. Because I like my
another
rogues.
rogue.
I like my rogues. What do you mean, wow? All my characters are rogues.
I know. I'm very aware. Like, I dare you to play a warlock or a druid or a paladin. I dare you.
Because rogues are fun. Now that I know how to play them, and I'm not playing a barbarian.
Only took 60.
Yeah.
What was it? We got to like the final battle, and you did your sneak attack. You're like, so how's this work again? I was like, we've asked this question so many times, I don't even know. I'm like, I used to love rogues. I hate them now.
Yeah.
Because there's so many. It's like, sneak attack, please. Like, oh my god.
I mean,
what was the question?
Well, no, I was just recounting the amount of character deaths I've had, but how that they were justified. And you were saying it's for you. It's not about just good old fashioned murder. Why not? Like it's ingrained in the story, and it's fitting. It isn't just for the sake of death. And that was the case with my latest character, whose name was Yang. He was a more of a slight homebrew character. He was an apeling, but he was a half rogue, half monk. So
that was cool.
It was a good combo.
It was cool.
And it was just the case that I hit like a truck.
Wave, shadow, and assassin.
Yeah, I hit like a truck, and Anubis, the main bad guy who we're fighting, he was like, no, we don't want this guy around. And then he punched me good, and then
he floored you, and then he used Circle of Death, and you
circled my death.
That's what happened.
Yeah. and look, like, I don't know, we're both kind of people that get quite attached to characters, and it's more emotional when they die and stuff. And so it was full on. But it was also the case that I think we still had like an hour or 2 left.
Well, I mean,
so we just had to play.
Speaking about that, I mean, probably something really cool to talk about is like I started DMing. I got into Dungeons and Dragons first year out of high school, so 2014.
Yeah, you
can work out how old I am. So yeah, it was a group of friends, and we were like, do we do rock climbing, fencing, or Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, let me just learn the rules, and I made this variant of the game, and we picked it up, and we played for a year, and then I didn't touch it for a while because I was doing acting training. But then I picked it up again, and I played with you, and my sort of background with that is acting and character and story, and on top of that, if you haven't, do Critical Role. You know, Matthew Mercer, Laura Bailey, Travis Willingham, the lot, they are just incredible storytellers, and they are such an inspiration for how I like and choose to play the game, because I mean, I've like I said, I've been a DM for hire. If you want to play a game where you just whack the dragon and loot the treasure, that's totally fine.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
But the level at which you play a game like that to the level that where you play a game where individuals can come into a room and be vulnerable and just play a villain or just a wacky goofy goblin or something is so it just, to me, it's like
it enriches the experience.
It's worlds apart.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with playing, a more sort of goofy game, or it being a little less sort of role play driven and more just sort of combat focused or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No.
It's more just, I think, from the way we play, that's the way we like to play. And I think everyone should play the way that they like to play, because at the end of the day, and that's something you've said to me and other players multiple times, it's like, cool, are you having fun? Because then if you're not, then
if you're not having fun, there's no point.
Yeah.
But I will argue that I think the way of sort of giving over and leaning more into the role play of the game is it's a scary thing for some people, and I think to lean in with a good group of people properly, I will debate this if anyone wants to fight me on this. I will debate that is a
first pilot episode, and we're challenging people to fight.
I will come to your house. I will argue that is a superior way to play every single time, purely because I've played with individuals. I did it in the UK. I DM'd a whole bunch of games in the UK. I've played Goofy. I've played Loot and Boot. I've played Murder Hobos. I've played the way I like to play. I've played all these different. Yeah. I'm a player.
Yeah, I was gonna make that joke. Yeah, I'm upset.
I beat you. It's that was very much a you kind of a joke.
Yes,
so
I know.
I would, and
and I think that's important too, because that was the case with me when I first got into D&D. Is I'm sure people have heard of it because it
not wearing shoes, by the way, for those.
Good. The podcast is complete.
So when you first got into D&D,
yes, I also wasn't wearing shoes. Fun fact. But people would probably know who I'm referring to, because I know the early show for it was quite popular. It was called Unforgotten Realms, which is of course a play on Forgotten Realms for D&D, and it was this kind of parody show. You trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I was trying to say U Realms.
Yeah, it later became U Realms because he was like, I don't know about copyright with D&D. I'd hate for them to get upset. Blah blah. But
I was trying to say it as you were saying it, and you just weren't saying it. So
I'll probably say it in a sec. So don't worry.
Okay.
So yeah, there was the TV show Unforgotten Realms, or not a TV show, it was a YouTube series, whatever it was. I didn't watch that, but I watched U Realms.
U Realms.
Good job. That was, it's not quite D&D, it's kind of their own take on a tabletop RPG, but obviously heavily inspired by D&D. And I watched a lot of that, and that was me kind of being like, this D&D thing's pretty cool. And, we met at an acting school, and so I have a background in acting and stuff, so it was kind of like, it's fun role play, but with fantasies and dragons and stuff, awesome, that sounds fun. And so yeah, playing with other people, and they'll be like, what would you want to play D&D? And I'm like, yeah, no, I really want to play D&D. That sounds great. And then eventually Nick saying, do you want to play D&D? And it kind of leading to that. But early on, when I would watch URAMs or play D&D with people, kind of before I met Nick, they played in a different way that didn't fit the way that I've since found today is the way that I really like to play, which is the more role play heavy, emotion, vulnerability driven, all that sort of stuff. And in the past ways where I'd play, I don't know how to kind of put it into words how I used to play before, but it was more sort of, I don't know. I just didn't get into it as much, I guess. And I think that's really important with D&D. It's just finding the way that you enjoy, because that's the way you enjoy. But I'm sure other people will be like, no, man, I love being a murder hobo. It's like, great, you do you.
They're just wrong.
That's arguably no.
I think a large portion of D&D players and the internet would agree with me that screw murder hobos. I mean, there's just on it. There's debate.
Okay.
There is. You can play an evil character. I've played evil characters.
Sure.
There's a difference between being evil and being an asshole.
I mean, I think there's a difference there. Yes, I can understand.
When there's you're playing with someone who's like, you find a homeless person. It's like, cool, I want to help them. Or it's like you find a wolf. I'm going to use a scenario here. I DM'd a particular game and I knew some individuals and I knew some of their interests and their likes. And one of the players was a huge animal lover.
Yeah.
Like them as a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, they wanted to play a druid and I was like, that makes sense. And so I gave them a scenario in which, a few goblins had like set a trap for them on the side of the road and they fell into it. And then as they sort of moved further in, there was a wolf trapped in sort of a trap in a net.
Yes.
And it had like a injured foot and there were these goblins and they like, a couple of them like killed these goblins, the others like intimidated them and they ran off. And they got this wolf down and this one person was, like healing its foot. And as they did, this wolf sort of came up and like sort of like nestles its head into her side. And there's like this companionship. And she was like, she expressed openly to the group, she's like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like I have a wolf companion.
Oh, sick.
That night, one of the players is like, I'm really hungry. I rolled a sneak into like her tent and murder this pet.
Right.
And I'm, and I, as the DM, like put up these walls to sort of prevent that from happening without sort of pushing against what this player wants to do. But, like he was like nat 20 and then rolled something else and it was, her passive perception was really low. Yeah. And so she just wakes up to like this decapitated wolf that she was really excited about. And I go, that's not being an evil character, that's being an asshole to your friend in the room.
Right. Like, well, okay. When I was saying, like, if you want to enjoy being a murder hobo, then cool, you can. Well, I guess what I meant with that is, like, because I can see the sense of camaraderie. Yeah, unless you're, like, playing on a ship. Then it's, anyway.
Oh, that was bad, bud.
Yeah. Then... if you all kind of get behind that idea of like, yeah, cool, let's go kill everyone and you kind of can bond in that sense. I can see that way it's good.
A communal.
But I can understand the idea of like, if you're playing a character and you're openly just insulting the other player and not even, in game, like kind of at a meta level, and stuff like that. Then of course, then you're just being you're just being a bad person.
Another scenario.
But I think they're kind of different things. It depends how you do it.
Yes.
I think being an arsehole is a little different than being, just having fun and going like really outside the boundaries.
It's being mindful.
That's the word.
It's being mindful. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's understanding the other wants and needs of other players in the room and meeting people halfway. Again, another scenario. 2 players, a large Minotaur Paladin and a Barbarian Goliath.
Sick.
Trudging through this dungeon. This was one of the games I played in the UK. Female player. First session she'd ever play. She was really nervous, but she was really excited. Played this small, like, gnome bard. That was her character that she'd made, and her name was, like, Cauliflower or something. Like, it was
great.
It was a really cool character. The entire time was, like, they dragged her along as, like, a pet.
Oh.
Like first met her and they're like, you're teeny, like, oh, we're gonna take you, and and she'd be like, I want to do this. Just like, no, don't do that. Like, you stay with me, and just like took away any chance of choice that she wanted. And I remember I went up to her afterwards and I was like, I think for word was like, hey, how'd you feel about that session? And she was like, I was kind of expecting like something a little bit different, and I went, look, I'm sure you can have fun with Dungeons and Dragons in a different circumstance. Those 2 guys are just dickheads. Like, right,
okay.
Like,
which is where the mindful thing comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Anyway, rant over. Didn't think I'd rant right off the bat.
Well,
I'm very passionate about dickheads, Ben.
Okay.
I
didn't do anything, but all right.
I don't know that. What's next?
Well, we also wanted to speak a bit about just us. How did we meet? That sort of thing. I briefly touched upon it, and saying that we both went to an acting school together, which was indeed the case.
We did.
I was in
my school.
First. Indeed, I was in my first year. Nick was in his second year, and then until we both became in the same year because of circumstances
Because
and things.
I'm stupid and
That's
I
not
had to
why.
repeat a year.
That's not why.
Without circumstance, and you just say repeating a year, everyone's like, man, what an idiot.
That's not. I wasn't saying that. But you were thinking it. No. And yeah, kind of just through that, we were just. I mean, to some degree, it was kind of just like, hey, D&D's pretty cool, and I guess kind of from there we just kind of got into it. But I mean, obviously we bonded as friends in terms of just having mutual interests and just getting along, and also because we people would say we looked very similar.
We said this, we I think one of our first bonding points was we would trick people into thinking we were siblings.
Yes,
that was
which worked a lot.
It was really a lot.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe it's the light on your face.
Yeah,
maybe it's the light on your face.
If I do this,
I don't.
Look, I don't know, man. I don't see it as much anymore.
Maybe that.
I did shave. Maybe if I had a bit more stubble.
Maybe there's that, but like this, I don't know.
I haven't cut my hair since COVID, so that also probably doesn't help. I don't know.
Maybe when your hair's a bit different. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see it.
Not as much anymore. A little bit more in the past.
Yeah, maybe possibly.
Look, people bought it, so that's enough.
Yeah, so many people as well. I think it was like the first time it happened. I think we hardly even knew each other. Someone was like, "You have siblings," and we just looked at each other and we were like, "Yep, yep, we are." Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, and then I think they asked us a question, and I was like, "Come on, bro, what's the answer to that one?"
I feel like having a sibling in the real world, I feel like I'd never call them bro. So maybe that was the one moment they're like, oh, no, this is a joke.
Well, says me, the only child, and doesn't know anything about having siblings. That's not true. I'm an actor. I've played lots of. I played as psychopathic sibling.
Oh, good.
What are you saying? Oh, like you didn't know that. I didn't know Locke.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I remember now. Well, there you go.
Yeah, it was.
Never mind.
You guys won't. Do you? No. You remember that moment? I played an antagonist in a show that was very realistic.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily realistic.
There you go.
But I mean, there was a lot of learning from that process, which is similar to like character in D&D.
There you go, bringing it back. That's nice. Yeah, because I think that is the case of. That's right. I think that is the case of. Certainly, characters can teach you stuff about yourself, or in general, just give you more. I don't know, like because I know we've spoken about this before to some degree when we've done acting stuff where you'll play a character that's maybe a little bit more like tough or headstrong, and then you're outside and suddenly like someone's being a little bit more tough and headstrong with you, and then normally you might be a little bit more like, oh God, what do I do? But then you're like, no, I'm going to channel my inner that character, and then be able to be a little bit more headstrong back, Yeah. And I mean, you can still do that with D&D as well. I'm going to be Thaddy Longbottom, and
I challenge people to play characters that are. I think it's an amazing journey to play something similar to yourself.
Yes,
because there's so much learning in that, but there's also so much learning in playing something that's really far from yourself.
Yeah.
Play against your sexuality, play against your gender, play, I mean, if we're talking Locke, like I used to be a really passive person, I'd be like, oh, okay, like I was a people pleaser. And then I played Locke and I was like, man, I don't have to take people's shit.
Right.
Like, not that I'm like...
Not that you're suddenly now just an asshole like the people we spoke about before,
I mean, not that I'm going out my way like and pushing people into ponds and shit. Like I'm not a bully.
I mean, he's done that twice, but we're not gonna.
To be fair, you deserved it. No, I'm kidding. a little part of me was like, did I push Ben into a pond?
No,
I just forgot.
I can't even think of any ponds in Perth. Oh, anyway, I'm sure there is, but they're not coming to my mind. So.
That's a weird thing to fixate on. But yeah.
What you learned from today's podcast, guys, there's no ponds in Perth.
Yeah, well, but and even as well, like, if you're a very passive person and then you choose to play a barbarian, there might be that fear to like show your voice or stand up or face conflict, and in doing it in a safe environment where you are around friends and in an environment that is make believe.
Yes.
you know, you have those mirrors, and then you realize that you're like, hang on, I just stood up to my dad or my bully the way that I did in D&D. Like, this is teaching me. I feel more confident, and
exactly. Yeah.
Vice versa. You could be someone you're very set in your ways, and then you choose to play like a cleric or like a nurse or something, and it could be a lesson in empathy or in compassion.
Yeah, and I mean, like, at the same time, you don't have to do that. You know, you could be like, I didn't learn anything from my character, but I had fun playing D&D. That's fun too.
No, if you didn't learn anything, you're doing it wrong.
Well,
not true.
Okay.
D&D is so broad. It's
which is a good thing.
what I really love about
it. I think that's something that I myself like to do, because I spoke to you about this before. I don't really like playing humans that much.
I love playing humans.
Yeah, but it's too, I don't know, it just sounds so vanilla and boring. It's like, I am a human.
It just feels really real sometimes, I think, when it's...
I still feel pretty real playing Kobold, though, you know?
Yeah, it's like... Because sometimes I'll have a very, like, intricate character idea.
Yes.
And then I feel like a particular race might influence the story too much in a way...
Right, no, I understand
that it like pushes it away from what I want to do, and so human feels like almost like a blank canvas to put something onto. Because like the second I play like a tiefling, I'm like, you know, I need to include things of discrimination and
I guess
yada yada.
Maybe a bit of that for me. Well, let me just finish my point and then I'll circle back. A lot of the reason I guess I kind of go like I don't like to play humans so much is because it's that I'm playing in this fantasy world. It is a time to make believe and explore, and so I go like I'd rather play like a kobold or a tiefling or whatever, and be a departure from myself, but still be able to find myself in that. And I think my love of Star Wars also helps with that, where it's like I can be like, hey, Aqualish are really cool. Nordlands are really cool.
Star Wars has got this, that, and everything.
Yeah,
and just fly people walking around.
And, or how it's like, you know, Greedo in fluid Geonosian there. Sure. And
that was fuck you in Levadabrun.
Good.
Thanks.
That I think like in episode 4 with like Greedo and stuff, like everyone's like, Rhodians are very, you know, kind of sleazy, sly kind of people as a race. And then Clone Wars comes out and they're like, Rhodians are just like any other race. They're people, you know, they can have different personalities and stuff. And I think growing up with Star Wars in that sense, it was a big thing for me of just like, I shouldn't judge people by the content, by the color of their race, you know, the words that are failing me right now. Wow.
Really fell down the stairs.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah. I totally got what you meant.
Yeah. And so I guess that's where I come from, where, like for example, when my favorite Star Wars character, Ahsoka Tano, was being made, George and Dave were talking, and they were like, how much do we want it to be, you know, a departure from being too humanoid and stuff, because we don't have people who relate to that so much. And I go like, I was able to relate to Ahsoka like heaps, even though she's not a human. And so I think with D&D, it's like that too. It's like it's more the like core of the character that's important to me, less about the race. But I think the race is still fun and good. You know, like when I played the Kobold character Sakaar that I was talking about, he was a more sort of savage, kind of fish out of water character, like I said. And so kind of really playing off of that, like kind of like lizard.
How'd it go?
You heard.
I didn't.
Ah, well.
Can you do it again, please?
Yeah.
The reluctance.
No, I knew I was gonna do it when you said it. I just wanted to see how far I could go. But like allowing the race to kind of play off of that. Or like for example, I played a tiefling character named Alton that we spoke about before. And he was a red-skinned tiefling, and I think that informed him to some degree because he was the sort of like roguish smuggler kind of
hello
kind of character, and I'm like, he's devil looking, like it fits, you know. Or like Yang being this goofy monkey apeling character, and he was essentially Aang from Avatar, like he's goofy but still pretty skilled, and I'm like, that still kind of fits a monkey, you know. Like I think my race plays into the personality, and I go like, for me, I find less out of a human to be able to translate something on. But I guess to some degree, if I'm playing a bit more of a sort of vanilla-esque character, maybe then I'd be like, I want to be more human, you know. But it's circumstantial. Ooh, I don't know. But I just gravitate more towards playing like weird out there races.
How dare you say that about humanity, that it's vanilla.
Hey, vanilla ice cream is a good flavour.
It is.
Yeah.
I've got vanilla candles on in my house at the moment. This is my house. Actually,
Good point. We're coming to you live from Alan's studio.
We're filming here. And I was thinking as you were talking about that, maybe like our first topic for the next podcast needs to be like
Vanilla scented candles. No, okay.
or yours,
races, yes.
or yours. Yours works too. Or like I don't know, maybe
it's a homebrew race of vanilla scented candles.
Maybe like I was about to say like maybe because we had ideas of spending an episode talking about classes and races and stuff, and
we kind of wrote a list. We were like,
although I was defending humans.
We're starting with humans.
I was like, do we start with humans? And I'm like, but how much can you talk about with you? You know what? No,
I mean,
you're wrong. There's different clans. There's a whole bunch of laws. Screw you. That's what we're doing. I've decided.
Okay.
I've decided. That's what we're doing.
All right. There you go.
Yep. So look forward to that.
Look forward to the next episode, I guess, because Ben maybe will be converted into actually liking playing humans.
To be fair, it's probably quite topical. So it might be a very good thing to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, cool.
Different clans and...
No, I get
I mean, you know, with all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on at the moment, which, by the way, very necessary and 1,000% support. It is, you know, it's horrible, and that's why we need to be listening, and I would rather be uncomfortable than ignorant.
Yes, I agree with that. And I mean, you were saying, I don't know how much you want to talk about this because you're planning the next campaign now that we're almost done with our current one.
Yeah, I've been planning it for 5 months now.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And
I'd love to get that out to people somehow. So maybe we should
film it, man.
Yeah.
Which would be a fun thing to do as well. Like, you know, because we did say we would speak a little bit about like what this podcast will be, what this channel will be, and stuff. And I think it's that, like we said, all things D&D. I'm sure we will inevitably do, you know. Here's us playing a game, even if it's just like a one shot or like a 3-part one shot or something, you know, whatever. Or it is us being like, yeah, cool. This next game we're playing, we don't know how many sessions it'll be, probably a lot, but we'll film it, you know, whatever. We're in early days here. We'll figure this out.
This is
the video you come back to later, and they're like, oh my god, look when they had just this wall and just a couch,
wall and a couch,
and now they have like a $7 million studio.
This mug and you know, this hill giant who
that specific hill giant
is gonna sit there. What do we name him? I'm feeling something real plain. Look at his boobies going on.
Okay.
Look at it. No, he's got like this.
I mean,
he's got,
you know, hey, he's embracing his body.
Not judging him.
It's a good point, actually. You weren't.
I'm just looking at his tits.
All right.
Bobby.
Actually, I like Bobby. That's good. We'll call him Bobby. I'm sure we'll do. I feel I was saying something, and the thought's gone.
That's how I felt for the majority of this.
Talking.
I've had ideas, and I'm like, that's a good idea. What's Ben saying? Hi. Oh gosh. What? Go back to your cheat sheet.
I'm looking.
You couldn't find the thing. We've gone through all the things we were.
That's the thing. We've actually gone through all of the notes that we've said, but we've danced around each topic, and so like to some degree we could have gone in more detail. But this is the pilot episode, guys. We're still finding out.
Yeah, we're just. I reckon.
Now we've learnt we need to write more in-depth notes.
Yeah.
You know, it's good. It's good time. I think that's the thing with D&D as well. You know, that was certainly the case for me when I first DM'd. Is I was like, this is how much work I need to do, and then you finish your first session, and you're like, I need to do 12 times that amount.
Yeah, kudos to anyone that DMs.
Yeah.
And you know, because I've played with DMs who, they're very adamant to the I'll just wing it on the day.
Yeah. Which can work,
and sometimes it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But you know, and I will never ever plan 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting a
phone call.
So is that going to keep recording as it goes?
Well, let's find out.
Do I pick that up? I think I'm just going to let it go.
Just let it go.
I'm just going to let it go for now.
Figure that out. Maybe on the YouTube video.
Who could that be? That's a mobile.
It's a mobile number. I was about to read the number aloud, and then I'm like, look, video ended.
Do I press it? Oh, well, no, you can edit it, and we'll say we got a phone call.
That's right.
So, and then this will... Oh, hey, wow.
What happened?
This was still going.
It will just go We'll just cut the bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, then they would have heard it, actually. Because we said that I got a phone call.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to who that was. I feel like this is a good place. This is a good place to stop it.
Maybe it's a good place to stop it. Sure, why not?
Okay, well,
But hey, look.
That was fun. I'm glad we're making stuff. Right on about 40 minutes.
More's coming.
I don't know who's going to listen to this, but whoever you are, I hope you choose to listen to it more because I definitely think we're going to keep doing this.
Nice. I hope you have a good day, whoever's listening too.
Or night.
Or night. Or middle of the afternoon, you know? Yeah. And if you're doing some D&D at the time, hope you have fun with that too.
Right.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for listening. Nick, if people who are listening are like, hey, this Nick guy's like pretty cool, I want to follow him on social media, where would they do that?
Didn't we already say that?
Yeah, but we're saying it again.
Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for the setup, Ben. Shit. You can tell one of us does this and one of us doesn't. Hey, it's why I'm saying at the start, like, can someone else just do this?
You can find him at Nicholas Allen on Instagram and on Facebook and on Grindr.
No.
You can't. I made that one up.
I've never been on Grindr.
I haven't either.
Not opposed to it. I mean, I just
Go ahead.
wouldn't. I've got a girlfriend now.
This
so
is a good point.
I don't know how she'd feel.
This is a
about
good
it,
point.
But
Yeah.
maybe that's who the call was. Maybe I'll just call her up and be like, "Is this cool?" Hey Ben, where can they find you?
I'm Ben Gossi on all forms of social media. I post Lego and D&D stuff, or Lego and Lego D&D stuff, and just cool Lego stuff. So go check it out. You can find me there. And of course, Flametongue Fables, where you're currently at, but we're also on Instagram and Facebook, so check that out too.
666
That's right.
Let's end it there.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next podcast.
Stay flamin'.
Oh, I hate that.
I hate it. Stop it now. End it, please.